So the end of 2023 is quickly approaching, and with only a few weeks left in the year, a lot of people are busy getting ready for the holidays as well as preparing for the new year. And with the new year comes New Year's resolutions. But it's never really productive to set New Year's resolutions without examining where you succeeded and failed in the previous year. So I thought I might make a little bit of a different video today. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you will know that I make several videos on goals and how to achieve them. And one of my earliest videos was my goals for 2023. And I thought it would be fun to take a look back at this video and go over the goals that I had set for myself, where I succeeded, where I failed. So to start off with, I'll probably skip most of the intro of the video and skip straight to where I start discussing my goals for 2023. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tyler Warlow and I go by The Mengineer, and I make videos on how to improve your life through your confidence, capabilities, and overall happiness. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started and start watching the video. One thing to note is that I made these goals based around the 6 main areas that I tend to focus my videos on. And those areas were goal setting, personal finance, confidence and presentation, your work or career, your mental and physical health, and to always continue learning. My channel has been focused on these main areas, and that's part of why I made this video with goals centered around these. So let's continue and see what I had to say. Now, right off the bat, obviously I'm going to address the point of one of those areas being setting goals, and that's what this video is all about. So I've not always been the best at setting goals and pursuing them. I've always been the type of person to set those goals and then not ever really develop a plan. I'm someone who really likes routine, and so when I have to set a goal that kind of breaks me out of that routine, I pursue that goal for a little bit and then I tend to fall back into my old routines. So one of the things that I want to do to try and adjust that is at the beginning of each week, I want to examine my personal goals and just do an evaluation of where I'm at and the progress that I've made. I'm willing to adjust my goals as the years go on. I recognize that goals shouldn't be static things. Life circumstances change, and so I think it's important to be flexible and be willing to change those goals. But obviously the items that I'm going to be talking about today are kind of my overarching goals for 2023, but just know that those might change. So the first area that I want to talk about in today's video is personal finance. For those of you who might not know, I am happily engaged to my fiance. So one of the biggest things that I want to work towards in terms of my personal finances is setting up our weddings fund. I want to get our weddings fund fully set up by the end of 2023. So I actually did meet this goal, and I met it a lot earlier than we originally planned. We actually met this goal back in probably September, but one thing that ended up coming up is that we did end up having to adjust our wedding budget. There's a lot of hidden fees and costs that go into a wedding that you just really don't think about when you first start setting your budget. And on top of that, we really had to examine what was important to us and what we really wanted to get from this wedding. For instance, for both me and my fiance, it was important for us to have tangible memories from this event. So we got both a photographer and a videographer, which of course had an impact on the budget. But this was actually one of the easier goals that I had to meet this year because my fiance and I sat down at the beginning of the year and wrote out a budget where we set aside a specific amount of money every single month. And it was one of the first things that came out of our paychecks. So it was very easy to set aside, and that prevented us from spending that money on other things instead of saving for the wedding. This helped us to meet our goal very quickly and then have a little bit of extra money when it turned out that we needed to increase our budget. Additionally, another big goal that I have is to set up a 6-month emergency fund. We were also able to achieve this 6-month emergency fund. Granted, this one took a little bit longer because our priority was saving for the wedding. We did achieve this, I think, last month, But it was the same concept as we did for saving for the wedding, was that we specifically set aside a set amount every single month before we started spending money on personal things. And that really helped us to establish that emergency saving fund. Now, the second area that I'm gonna talk about is the confidence and presentation area. There's two main things that I wanna focus on. Number one is saying hello and speaking to someone that I don't know at least once per week and trying to strike up a conversation. This was a goal that I technically met, but I would say it was more because of my job and less because I went out of my way. My job as an engineering consultant requires me to talk to people every single day, whether that's a contractor, a client, or my own manager. And as a result, I tend to meet a lot of new people. So I've technically been meeting this goal, but I wouldn't say it's because I was going outside of my comfort zone. It's kind of more the situation, and that's something that I think I would like to work on next year, is I think I would like to actually put myself out there more and not just be saying hi to new people because it's a situation where I need to. Now, the second area that I want to focus on is improving my wardrobe a little bit. I honestly am not sure that I should have made this a goal. This was something that was relatively easy to achieve. It's pretty easy to go through your closet and throw stuff out and then go out and buy some new clothes. Like, in my personal opinion, this didn't push me to better myself at all, so I maybe shouldn't have made this a goal. Now, the third area that I want to talk about is my physical and mental health goals. Really, my number one goal here is that I want to work out a minimum of 3 times a week every single week this year. So unfortunately, this is a goal that I did not meet. So I was doing pretty well up until the new training program for the job that I started, and it had a training program of 8 weeks. The first 4 weeks were the simple systems, and then the next 4 weeks were the complex systems. And while I was able to kind of maintain a workout schedule during the simple systems, I ended up letting it go a little bit for the complex systems. Now, granted, I was working some pretty long hours, so that included 50-hour weeks as well as the stuff that I was doing for YouTube. So it ended up becoming a matter of prioritization. And in terms of the work, I ended up deciding to prioritize YouTube over my personal health. And I did notice an impact. My sleep was affected for a good bit. And on top of that, when I came back to the gym, I really struggled with the equipment. I was having aches and pains in areas that I really hadn't had them before. And so that was a little interesting to experience. On top of that, I had like a month and a couple week long stint where I first got COVID, so I had to isolate, then I got surgery, so I had to recover from that, and then I got sick again. And in all of that, I pretty much only got to work out like once every other week maybe because of the varying sicknesses and recovery. So that was a little frustrating. But what I'll say is I was able to discover a new form of exercise that I really enjoy. That would be pickleball. I had some friends at work introduce me to that, and it's been a lot of fun. So in the video, I think I state that I would like to focus on weightlifting, but I found other activities that I can do with friends that are really enjoyable, and that helps me to meet that goal of 3 times per week. I've actually been finding that I've been working out more than the 3 times a week because I've been going out and doing those kinds of activities with friends. Now, my final goal that's going to go into the mental health category is I want to take time at least twice a week to foster the relationships in my life. So I'll say at the beginning of the year, I was not very good at this one. Like I said, I was on second shift and that was really difficult for me. But once I started making a particular effort to reach out to friends and also try to foster my relationship, I found a few different ways that worked for me. For instance, I was able to set up a thing once a month with some friends from college where I got to see them. My fiance and I set up a recurring monthly dinner where we talk to each other about kind of like how things have been in our lives as well as our personal goals and what we want to do moving forward. I tried to call my family more often. But I would say that this primarily took hold in the second half of the year. But I would consider this to be a success given that I made this video later in the year. So I was pretty happy with the progress on this. I would say that it was not measured very closely, so I don't know how accurate it was. But I will say that I have been making sure that I am fostering my friendships and my relationships recently. Now, the next area that I want to talk about is my professional work goals. So this area I'm going to focus on a little bit less. I know that it's a bit less applicable to everyone, but really my main goal is I want to obtain some certifications for the coding that I do by the end of July. That goal in particular for me actually worked out really well. So I actually achieved 3 different certifications for the coding that I do. And as a result, at my new job, I'm pretty much the go-to guy for coding because we work with 2 different systems of coding. The team is built around the rest of the team being able to handle the other system, while I'm pretty much the sole person for the other side of things. And that makes me really proud of my work. It's good to know that even though I have to work hard and put in some hours to figure out how things are working or what might work best for our system, it makes me proud to know that I'm the go-to guy for that and that I can take the time to teach other people if they ask me. So that's actually something that I was really proud of achieving, and I kind of forgot that I had set that goal for myself. So it's kind of cool to look back and see that. And finally, I want to talk about some of my learning goals. My biggest goal that I've already been working on this year is I want to read a book per month. So this is unfortunately a goal that I did not meet as well. I was actually doing pretty well with this goal, reading books every single month up until the month of August when I started my new training program. And to be completely honest, this is an excuse. I didn't prioritize it enough because of the long working hours and everything else that I was doing. By the time that I got home, I really decided to just let myself do things that were quickly pleasurable. I would take a lot of time to scroll on social media. And honestly, that one's on me because I was doing really good up until I encountered a blockade, and I really didn't push through that blockade. So this is a failure, and I'll talk a little bit more about what my plan is to address that in 2024 at the end of the video. I have 3 more goals in the learning area that I'd like to discuss. The first of which is I want to post a new YouTube video every week for the rest of the 2023 year. I was waiting for this goal. I was kind of sitting here the whole time being like, where is this? Because I was pretty sure I set this goal, and there it is. I am actually, I think, the most proud of this goal in the sense that I have continued to post on YouTube at least once per week, every single week since I started. Which, yes, some of the videos haven't been the best quality. Yes, some of them haven't been the most valuable. But honestly, the fact that I have consistently posted at least once per week is the thing that is most impressive to me, because that is something that I was scared that I was going to fall back on. And honestly, I still sometimes have doubts in my mind, but it's something that I've been pushing through. And in the 2024 year, I want to continue to post at least once per week, but I might have some additional plans, and I just want to continue to make each and every video better. So I want to start focusing on improving my videos and not just posting every single week. I actually want to start setting up systems so I can start getting ahead on my videos, start learning how to kind of get things scheduled out so I'm not on this week by week basis. So I'm very proud of being able to achieve this goal. The next part of that is I'm trying to take at least 1 course on Skillshare per month. I have already found it to be very helpful in terms of getting started on YouTube. This was a bit of an ambitious goal. I did finish all 3 of those courses, but I haven't continued taking courses just because of how busy I got with the training program. And honestly, again, that came down to a matter of prioritization. And I chose to prioritize posting to YouTube rather than trying to make sure that I was learning something every single day. So that's something that I think I want to address moving forward. The last thing that I want to try is learning a new skill every month. And that's something that I'm going to try and incorporate into my YouTube videos. But that, of course, brings us to the end of my goals for 2023. All right, guys, and so that brings us to the end of that video, not this video. That was another goal that I also failed. I did not anticipate how much time it was going to take to do YouTube. I vastly underestimated the commitment that that was going to be. So that was another goal that I failed. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. So I set 11 overall goals, 6 of which were major, and then the others were kind of like sub goals off of those major goals. And I actually failed to meet 5 of those. And really, to be completely honest with y'all, what it came down to was a lack of prioritization and managing my time. One of the biggest things that took time away from me in the later half of this year was the amount of time that I spent on social media. And to be completely honest, I knew I had no excuse. The first part of the year, I actually had social media deleted from my phone because I had spent so much time on it last year. And honestly, I should have kept that going. So I think moving forward on the social media front, I'm not going to completely delete it again, especially since I am now trying to grow on YouTube a little bit. But I do think that I will set a limiter on my phone in order to limit the amount of time. And so I'm hoping that by maybe setting a 30-minute timer on the app, it's going to make me a little bit more conscious about how I use the app. And then it's going to prevent me from using it once I've gone past that time. I'm hoping that that will help moving forward. The next major thing that contributed to the failure of some of these goals was that I honestly did not track these goals very carefully. I just set these goals and then I kind of like loosey-goosey did them. I did not have any sort of formal tracking system. I hadn't wrote them down anywhere or marked when I was doing them. And as I've said before in my videos, you kind of need to see your progress in order to maintain consistency on habits and goals. So something that I've already started setting up in Notion is a daily habit tracker to help me kind of gamify that. It's basically going to be, I check off the habits I do and it assigns a certain percentage for the day that I've completed, and then it will make a graph so I can literally see how many of my goals and my habits I have completed for the day. So that's something that I think will be an interesting adjustment to 2024. The next thing that I really need to work on in order to kind of get the rest of my goals in order is setting up some systems for my YouTube channel. I have found that I have not been good at planning and posting content. So I have a tendency to have to work until the last minute on Thursday and then put it out. And like I said, this is on a week by week basis. So I'm kind of always stressed about getting a video out. Like I don't really have any time for breathing room. So even on holidays, I've had to film videos and edit videos, which is something that I kind of wanted to avoid. But if I'm being honest with myself, it's because I didn't take the time to set up the systems. And like I said, let myself get distracted by things like social media. So that's something that I think I want to set up this year, is like set times to work on this and also to get content out. One of the things that I'm already planning to do in 2024 with a friend is at least once per month, go to a coffee shop, sit down and just kind of have like a working outing where we both kind of just sit there and crank out some work on our personal projects while enjoying each other's company. So that's something that I'm currently working on. So that's gonna bring us to the end of this video. I actually thought it was really interesting to go back through this video and kind of see where I had failed and succeeded. I actually forgot about some of these goals, so I thought it was interesting to see how I did on them. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How did you think I did? What were things that you think that I could have done better? Do you have any advice? Let me know. I like to read all the comments down below. And if you found this video to be helpful, informative, or you just liked it in general, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel to grow and helps it to reach people who might not otherwise see it. If you're interested in more videos where I talk about goal setting, be sure to check out this video right here, where I talk about how to set goals in the different areas of your life. If you're more interested in some of my most recent stuff, be sure to check out this video right here. But until the next time, this is the Mengineer, signing off.